Lesson 9.1, number 3, trigonometric functions of any angle. The essential question, how do you evaluate trigonometric functions of any angle and find and use reference angles to evaluate trigonometric functions? There were 3 problems left on the page for independent practice. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at those. So we're looking for cosecant of 10 pi over 4. So first I need to use the unit circle to find its reference angle. This is the initial side. Where is 10 pi over 4? Well, if it's over 4, I remember I can do fourths on my unit circle. So we did that by looking at each half. So this half was broken up into 4 equal chunks, and this bottom half was broken up into 4 equal chunks. And I could count by fourths, waiting for the 10th one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I went all the way around, and then I continued and I stopped right here. So now I need to figure out where am I in terms of the closest x-axis. I'm just as close to this x-axis over here as I am this x-axis over here. So I can't do really a reference angle. I'm lost and confused and have no idea. If I were just to look at this line on the unit circle, this axis on the unit circle is the same as pi halves. So we're going to use the reference angle pi halves. So I have cosecant of 10 pi over 4. He is the same as cosine of pi halves, which is actually the same as cosecant of 90 degrees. So cosine of 90 degrees is not on that chart. So we have to use something else. So we're going to actually use the coordinate point. It landed right here. We know what that coordinate point is on the unit circle. It's the coordinate point 0, 1. If it lands at any of these points right here, we know those coordinate points on this unit circle, and only those 4 coordinate points do we know. So I know that cosine of 90 degrees right here is going to be the same as x over r, where x is your 0, and we know r is always 1. So 0 divided by 1 is 0. So my cosine of 10 pi over 4 is 0. If you were trying to solve any trig function and it lands on any of these 4 intersections on the axes, you're going to have to use lesson 9.1 number 2 to do it. Why is that? It's because it's going to be either a 90, a 180, or a 270 degree angle, and those are not on our chart. So we had to find a different way to do the special right triangles. So sine of negative 3 pi halves. So here is my unit circle. Here is my initial line. I know that 3 pi halves would have taken me around this direction if it was positive. That would have been 3 of the sections. But I'm not in the positive, I'm in the negative direction, which meant I would have negatively gone all the way around, and I would have stopped right here, and this is where I'm at. I notice I landed on an axis. Because I landed on an axis, I am going to have to use the coordinate point instead. This is the coordinate point 0, 1. So instead of figuring out sine of negative 3 pi halves, I am actually going to be doing sine of, this is pi halves, which is the same as 90 degrees. So I'm doing sine of 90 degrees, which I know is y over r. The y is 1. Your r on the unit circle is always 1. 1 divided by 1 is 1. Where did I get this ratio from? That is from lesson 9.3, number 2. If it lands in any of these 4 spots, you have to use lesson 9.3, number 2. Last one. Tangent of 11 pi over 6. So here is my unit circle. I remember my unit circle does break up into sixths. So this half had to be broken up into 6 equal parts. And this half had to be broken up into 6 equal parts. So I need to find the 11th one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's my 11th one. So I started here, I went around, and I stopped right here on the 11th one. How close am I to the closest x-axis? I am this close. I would have counted one more to get there, which meant I was 1 pi sixth off from reaching the closest x-axis. So instead of doing tangent of 11 pi over 6, I'm actually going to be doing tangent of pi over 6. But remember, it's in this quadrant. What is tangent of any theta in this quadrant? Tangent of any theta in this quadrant has to be a negative answer according to our chart. So this has to be negative. This pi over 6 came from the reference angle. So I have negative of, what is tangent of pi over 6 according to our notes? Tangent of pi over 6. Well, tangent of pi over 6 is the same thing as 30 degrees. So I'm actually doing tangent of 30 degrees. What is tangent of 30 degrees? That is root 3 over 3 according to our chart.